how to respond to someone when they don't respect your boundaries. If you've seen my previous video, I am always talking about setting boundaries and how important it is to have set of boundary with your life. Setting boundary in your life is to protect your emotion, your feelings, your thoughts, but more importantly, your spirit. So if you don't have boundaries in your life, you're pretty much exposed for anybody to say anything to you or do anything to you. That's how important it is to have set of boundaries in your life. You have to have boundaries in your personal life as well as in your professional life. So today I'm going to give you three strategy that you can apply if you do have boundaries and somebody is not respecting your boundaries and constantly doing the same thing that you don't want them to do, whether it's physically, emotionally, verbally, financially, whatever area it is that they're not respecting your boundaries. These are the three steps that you should apply to make sure that person gets it and not disrespect your boundary setting anymore. Okay, number one, if you feel like someone in your life is not respecting your boundary, it is very important to immediately reroute your conversation and communicate your boundary very clearly again. Yes, again, if that sub person is not respecting your boundaries and constantly keep doing the same thing, and you're so frustrated and you already explain your boundaries to them, and then they keep doing the same thing, then it's very important for you to immediately take an action and clearly talk about your boundaries again with them. And talking about boundary is not something that you have to set people and tell them, hey, this is my boundaries and you have to apply it. No, boundary setting conversation should always be weaved in your conversation, especially the people that you feel like they're not getting it. So every time you have a communication with that person, then you need to clearly talk about your setting boundaries. For example, if you don't like something, you can, and then the person that is with you and they don't get that you don't like that thing, then you need to have that in your conversation all the time. If I tell you that I don't like tea, and then I keep bringing that in every conversation when I go out with my friend that doesn't respect my boundary, or with my family or with my partner, and I keep saying that, you know what, I really don't like tea or I don't like to drink. When you can have those kind of conversation, the person slowly gets it and then they start respecting your boundaries. So every time when they go on their own route and bring in conversation that you don't like or doing something that you don't like, then it immediately change your conversation and bring a conversation that can clearly communicate your boundary setting again. Okay. Number two, there are times that people know us from before. Okay, especially family. This happened with the family a lot. Okay, if your family knows you the way you are when you are 20, 30, 40, they always sees you from there. They always assume that you're the same person. Now, if you're someone that is working on your personal life and you're working on yourself and you're trying to get better within yourself and you're setting boundaries in your life and they're really not seeing it and they're really like, yeah, 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 she's always says yes, then it's very important for you to immediately remove yourself from that conversation, because those people never change. Those people, you can't change their mind. They seize you from the past. They treat you from the past. So the best way to want them to respect your boundary is to distance yourself, to walk away from the conversation. Because you don't need to keep repeating yourself. You don't need to feel bad about it and say yes again, but just remove yourself. The more you remove yourself, the more the person will get it and will understand that, oh, there's certain conversation when I bring up to the person, that person leaves me or that person will walk away from me. Eventually they will get it. I know it's the hard strategy to do, but it's very effective. So I have a friend that they know me from a long time ago, like when I was like very young. And I'm not young anymore. I'm not that person anymore. I change a lot. I change a lot. And every time when they bring up the past, do you remember when you would used to be like this? Or, oh, so somebody's birthday. I know Val always will say yes. She'll go to that birthday. I'll remove myself from that conversation. I'm like, you know what? No, thank you very much. I don't want to have this conversation anymore. And I walk away. So slowly, 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 they got it. And now they're not doing that as much. They still do it, but not as much. So that's strategy number two. Immediately get yourself out of there. Strategy number 3 is that if you have set of boundaries and people do not respect your boundaries, then works really well with the partners, but especially families and friends. If you have people around you that not respecting your boundaries and treating you the same way that they used to before you had set of boundaries, then it's very important for you to have some type of consequences when they disrespect your boundaries. And I mean, for moms out there, for dad out there, we all know that when you have children, you have to have some type of boundaries. And if they don't do that, then there's got to be consequences for that. Okay. I mean, how many of your children, when you tell them not to do something and they do it, and you're like, okay, that's it, you're not gonna watch TV no more, or that's it, you're not gonna have your favorite dessert anymore, or that's it, you're gonna go to bed early tonight. Things like that we do with our children, but actually, it's really important to do that with the grown up as well. Yeah, go figure, right? You think that they're grown up, I don't have to do that, but you have to. If you don't have a consequences that goes with your boundary setting, the people always will treat you the same way, and they really don't take you seriously. They think that, oh yeah, well, maybe she said it this time, next time I really don't care. And I hear a lot of my clients talk about this when it comes to a relationship, a romantic relationship, that they're having set of boundaries, but unfortunately their partner is really not respecting their boundaries. And for that, I highly recommend you to have some type of consequences when it comes to setting boundaries. If you're telling your partner that, listen, I don't really like this, how you make me feel, how you speak to me. And if they keep doing that, you must have a consequences for that. You must have to remove yourself from that conversation. You must have to say, I don't want to talk about this anymore. You must have to do something to make sure that they know that you have set of boundaries and they cannot cross it. And that's how important it is to do this. Setting boundary is really, really for your health, for your mental health, for your emotion, for your spirit. So it's not something that you can take it lightly and say, oh, you know what? Yes, it's not flattering to be a people pleaser, because nobody likes people pleaser. As much as you want it to be a people pleaser, as much as you want people to like you, unfortunately, it fires back on us because we don't know, people don't know us. People don't know us who we are. The only way for somebody to know you who you are, you must have some rule and regulation and speak about it, some sort of boundaries that you speak about yourself and you say, are my likes and are my dislikes. And those are with people that matters to you, not with everybody. I'm not talking about going seeing somebody in the street and say that, guess what? No. But people that don't matter to you, your family, your friends, your partners, your kids, those people should really clearly know what are your boundaries, and they should respect your boundaries. And if they don't, they know that there's a consequences for that. So you let me know if these tips helps you, and the comment, let me know what boundary are you going to apply this week to make sure that you are protecting your soul.